Welcome to the Higher Self Club podcast. I'm your host, Shay, and together we'll dive deep into topics such as mindset, manifestation, money, business, and wellness, so you can feel expanded and empowered to create a life of joy and freedom. I'm so excited to be on this journey with you. Let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode of the Higher Self Club podcast. I wanted to open up today's episode by asking you a question. And that is, when was the last time that you felt triggered? When was the last time that you felt triggered? Can you remember a time? And if you're wondering what I mean when I say triggered, I mean a moment in time where you had a reaction to something or to someone that maybe just feels a bit out of character, or that feeling where it just feels like your blood is boiling and you can't control it. And it often feels like the reaction is a little bit irrational compared to what the situation is. So can you think of a time? Usually it will be a time involving family for most people. I love it. This is going to sound unhinged to say, but I love it when I get triggered. Because yes, it's so uncomfortable, but it reveals to me exactly where I'm not yet healed. So when I feel triggered, I'm like, oh, this is something exciting. There's something for me to work on here. There's this guy called Peter Crone. I feel like I talk about him all the time. He's amazing, but he has an excellent quote, and he says, life presents us with people and circumstances to reveal where we are not yet healed. And I just love that quote because it is so true. When we feel that discomfort, when someone really pisses us off, when we have that deep emotional reaction, it's revealing to us, oh, this is like pressing on something deep in my psyche for me to look at. So it can be so fucking uncomfortable because often it does feel so irrational, and sometimes it can feel kind of embarrassing. You're like, oh, why did I react like that? Or you might find yourself slipping into self-judgment. And even if you don't have an outward emotional reaction, sorry if you can hear crashing, there is the craziest construction going on around my apartment. As I was saying, yeah, sometimes you can feel embarrassed for having this emotional reaction. Or even if you don't have an outward emotional reaction, you can feel yourself getting triggered internally, and it feels so uncomfortable and it feels like tension inside your body. And then you might find that you judge yourself for that experience. You might find yourself judging yourself for being like, why am I feeling like this? This just seems so over the top. But I just invite you to start to shift your awareness around those situations and start to realize that they are a sign that something in you is ready to be seen. And when you look at that thing and you heal it, you come closer to becoming that version of you that is grounded, that is regulated, and that version of you that's honestly just unfazed by things that used to really shake you. Each time you reveal one of these triggers and you heal one of these triggers, you're becoming a little more closer to that emotionally anchored, unfuckwithable version of you. So today I want to talk to you about how you can actually heal your triggers. I want to give you an actual process that you can take yourself through next time you notice yourself getting triggered, to understand what part of you needs attention and needs healing, and then what to actually do about it. So you can even use this process. You don't even have to wait until you get triggered next time. You can think of a time that you recently got triggered and take yourself through this process and just see what it reveals for you. Now, before we go any deeper, I want to be really clear about something. This isn't about never having emotional reactions. Having a reaction about something is healthy. If something crosses your boundaries, if something genuinely matters to you, if something deserves your voice or your action, you should feel something. You should respond. That's grounded nervous system energy. What we're talking about is different. We're talking about when your reaction is bigger than what the situation requires. So when it feels like you snap or you spiral or you overthink or you shut down or you completely lose yourself in that situation, and then afterwards there's this feeling of, oh, why did I react like that? This is what we call being triggered. And today in this episode, I want to show you what that is actually revealing about you and how to move through it in a way that feels really healing. So to talk about triggers, we need to talk about your inner child. Your inner child is not just a memory, she is actually a living energy inside of you. Your inner child is an emotional imprint inside of you, carrying every unmet need, every unresolved emotion, and every survival strategy that you developed to cope with your earliest experiences as a child. So when you find yourself getting triggered or overreacting or stuck in cycles of self-sabotage, it's often a wounded part of you that is asking to be seen and to be held. So when you have these emotional reactions, it's actually often not your adult self responding. It's actually a younger part of you that is asking to be seen and supported. So let's ground this in with an example. Let's say you're in a relationship and your partner takes a while to reply to your message. Now, in this situation, nothing's actually wrong. Your partner just isn't someone who's very glued to their phone. But suddenly you feel it. You feel that tightness in your chest. You start to overthink. You start thinking to yourself, oh, they're pulling away. I've done something wrong. They don't care about me. And maybe you try to act normal, but inside you can really feel yourself spiraling. Or maybe you snap at them. Or maybe your strategy is to go really quiet. Or maybe you give them the silent treatment. Now, on a logical level, you might know that they're probably just busy or they probably just haven't seen their phone yet. But emotionally, your body is responding like something deeper is happening. So this is where your inner child comes in. Because the reaction that you're feeling, it's not actually about the message. It's about what this situation is representing to your nervous system. Because maybe at some point in your childhood, love felt inconsistent. Maybe attention felt unpredictable. Or maybe connection wasn't always guaranteed. So your younger self learned something very simple. And that is, when someone pulls away, I am no longer safe. And that younger version of you who learned that, she didn't disappear. She's still in your system. She's still holding on to that emotional memory and she's still carrying that fear. And she's still trying to protect you. So now as an adult, when someone doesn't reply, it doesn't just feel like a delay. It can feel like abandonment. And this is the key insight. You are not reacting as your adult self. You are being activated by that younger part of you that is truly just trying to protect you from something it once experienced. So this is how it can start showing up in real life. For example, over texting someone to feel safe, maybe shutting down in order to avoid rejection or becoming anxious or controlling in relationships. Maybe pretending you don't care about something when you actually do deeply care about something. And just having this awareness is where the healing begins. It's starting to notice these patterns and notice how these patterns are a reflection of these old wounds. So the moment that you can pause and go, okay, wow, this reaction right now feels bigger than what this situation calls for. When you have that reaction, when you can pause in that moment, you create space. And in that space, you can say, okay, this is not about the message. This is an old feeling being activated. Something in me is being asked to feel safe right now. Something in me is asking to feel safe right now. Because once you can see it clearly and you can see this pattern, you are no longer inside the pattern. You become an observer of it. And that is the beginning of change. And from there, you do something radically different. Instead of spiraling or reacting, you learn to self-soothe. You learn to actually turn inward and meet that younger version of you, that younger part of you, and you learn to give yourself what you were once waiting for. You learn to give yourself safety, reassurance, presence, love, And this is how patterns actually change. Not by suppressing your triggers, but by understanding who is actually being triggered inside you. And then something really beautiful happens when you start living in this way. Not only are you healing yourself, but you also become more compassionate because you start to notice that this is the same with other people. You start to realize that if anyone ever has an emotional reaction to you, it's rarely about you. They are often reacting from their internal world. So it means that when someone, snaps at you or withdraws or reacts in a way that feels disproportionate, it becomes easier to not take it personally because you know that it is their inner child being activated. So to understand ways that you might be getting triggered, it can be super helpful to understand something called the 5 core wounds. So psychologists and healers over time have identified 5 core emotional wounds that often sit underneath these patterns of reactivity and that are the cause of us being triggered. While most people resonate with more than one of these core wounds, usually there is one primary wound that drives a lot of your emotional responses. So these 5 core wounds are abandonment, rejection, injustice, humiliation, and betrayal. And at the core of every one of these 5 wounds is an unmet emotional need to be loved, to feel safe, to be seen, to be validated, to be held. And when those needs weren't met consistently when we were growing up, a child doesn't blame the environment, a child blames themselves. And then they form identities around this to survive. So when you are being triggered today, it is not random. It is your inner child saying, this is still unresolved. So you can look at those 5 core wounds and maybe just have a little think about which one maybe is most prevalent for you. And now I want to give you something practical because awareness is powerful. But integration is what is really going to change your life when you can really integrate your triggers, have awareness, and then integrate them. So I do see a lot of people bringing awareness to their patterns and calling it healing, but awareness is truly only step 1. We need to take action and we need to integrate to make true change. So here is your simple protocol for when you get triggered. I'm really excited to share this with you. This is really fun because it's genuinely so empowering. So I'm going to take you through this step by step. You can just do this written. I would recommend writing your way through this protocol step by step. I'll pop the steps in the show notes so it's very clear for you. You can just put it in your phone notes just so you have easy access to them. Step 1 is writing out what happened. So describe the event that triggered you. Okay, so this is bringing the awareness to that event. Step 2 is asking yourself, how did I feel in my body? So what was the physical sensation in my body? Did your chest tighten? Did your stomach drop? How did you feel in your body? Step 3 is asking yourself, what age do I feel right now? What age did I feel in that moment when I got triggered? And how old was I the first time I felt this feeling? Can you remember this time? Now with this step, try not to overthink it too much. Just tune into that feeling in your body and then just ask yourself, as if you're speaking directly to your subconscious mind, how old was I when I first felt this feeling? And you'll be surprised what comes to you. Your body remembers. So just trust whatever comes to you first. How old was I when I first experienced this feeling? Step 4 is asking yourself, what story am I telling myself? What story am I telling myself about this situation that's creating this feeling inside my body? And that's going to start to help you to get to that deeper need that is unmet. So this might be, the story you might be telling yourself is something like, I'm not safe, or no one ever stands up for me, or I'm not important, or I'm not good enough. What is the story that you're telling yourself? Then step 5 is, what might my inner child be needing right now Do they need love? Do they need reassurance? A boundary? Do they need to cry and be held? So just identify what your inner child is needing and then give that to your inner child. Now, this can feel really weird if you haven't done any inner child work before, but stick with it. It's super powerful. It can be quite emotional. So just be gentle with yourself. Stay really grounded in your body. Stay really connected to your breath. Breathe nice and deep when talking to your inner child. And just know that every wound that you uncover in this process, it's a stepping stone. So every trigger that you notice, it's a stepping stone. Your inner child, it's not here to sabotage you, even though it can feel like that sometimes. They're just trying to keep you safe in the only way that they know how. Okay? So now you have the tools to show them a new way. A way where their needs matter, where they are deeply loved, and where healing is so available. So if you're feeling brave and ready to dive even deeper into this work and to reveal and heal any old wounds that are playing out in your life today and that are holding you back, then I'm very excited to announce that the waitlist for my 12-week signature program is officially live. I'm going to pop the waitlist link in the show notes. So what we've spoken about today, this is just a little sliver of what we do together. But to give you a little bit of an insight of what this 12-week experience looks like, throughout our time together, we use rebirthing breathwork to do deep somatic healing, so healing from your body. We layer this with subconscious work. So we getting super clear on your vision. We're pulling every area of your life into alignment and connecting you to your intuition so you can start calling more magic and ease and beauty and money and whatever it is that you're wanting to call into your life. We're going to create that together. If you're wanting to create more freedom, if you're wanting to travel more, if you're wanting to manifest more money, manifest your soulmate, if you're wanting to start your own business, whatever it is for you, we're going to allow you to start to be the architect of your life. Figure out what it is that you're truly passionate about. And whether you have clarity about exactly what it is you want, and we're just needing to figure out what you need to clear to get there, or whether you're not actually sure what your vision is. We'll get super clear on that too. So wherever you're at in your journey, this is a one-on-one experience where you'll be working one-on-one with me. And you're going to get all the tools that you need to help you get to exactly where you're wanting to go. So one quote that really got me started on my journey of healing and personal development was a quote by Robin Sharma where he says, "Don't live the same year 75 times over and call it a life." And the problem is that unless we choose to do things differently, then we will keep living the same year over and over and over. So that was where this program is really born from. It was giving you a way to strip anything away that's holding you back. We're not wanting to live the same year 75 times over. We're wanting to create magic. I'm so excited to create magic with you. So people who are on the wait list to this program are going to get first dibs on the spots. There's 6 spots available. So make sure you pop your name on the wait list using the link below if you are curious. And I really hope this episode landed for you. I hope it's helpful for you. And I want you to actually use this. So I'll pop the steps in the show notes. As I said, think of a time where you were triggered. It will only take you 5 to 10 minutes to journal through this protocol. You'll learn so much about yourself. And I think that's the really fun part. You get to meet yourself on a deeper level and step into that more grounded, powerful, regulated version of you. So enjoy. Let me know if you have any questions along the way. I love you. Have a beautiful day. Mwah! Speak to you next week. Bye.